The Battle of Crécy, fought on August 26, 1346, was a major clash between the English and French during the Hundred Years' War. King Edward III led an army made up of English, Welsh, and Allied troops against a much larger French force commanded by King Philip VI. Before the battle, Edward ordered his men-at-arms to dismount and fight on foot. The English also employed some of the earliest known cannons in warfare. Their army consisted of around 4,000 knights and men-at-arms, 7,000 Welsh and English longbowmen, and 5,000 spearmen. They fortified their position by digging trenches and placing caltrops to slow enemy charges. The size of the French army remains uncertain, but estimates range between 20,000 and 30,000 troops. Alongside Philip VI was the blind King John of Bohemia. The French vanguard was made up of Genoese mercenary crossbowmen, followed by heavily armed knights led by the Count of Alassa. Edward divided his army into three sections. The terrain helped him. One side was protected by a forest and marshes, the other by the village of Waudecourt. The Genoese crossbowmen, unfortunately, left their large shields, pavises, with the baggage train. As they moved forward, a sudden rainstorm struck, damaging their bowstrings and making their weapons ineffective. The French raised the Oriflamme, their royal battle standard, signaling that no quarter would be given. When the Genoese began to fall back in disorder, French cavalry struck them down in frustration. Up to 15 cavalry assaults were launched against the English lines, but all were repelled, leaving heaps of dead men and horses. At one point, the Black Prince, Edward's son, was nearly overwhelmed. A messenger was sent to the king asking for reinforcements. Edward reportedly replied, "Let the boy win his spurs," refusing to intervene, an early test of the prince's leadership. In a dramatic move, the blind King John of Bohemia had his horses' reins tied to those of his knights and led a charge. He and his companions were all killed. King Philip VI was wounded, and during the chaos, 2 of his horses were slain beneath him. Eventually, the French king fled the field, marking the end of the battle. English losses were remarkably low, around 300 men, while the French suffered devastating casualties, including 1,542 knights. The English captured the Oriflamme, and after the fighting, the Black Prince discovered the body of King John of Bohemia among the fallen.